Well, we have just concluded a very interesting concept on the future of works, the program that are at risk, and of course the programs that are going to define the future of workplaces. Time now to shift our focus now on to the small medium enterprises sector. They employ close to 80% of the country's workforce. Their contribution to Kenya's economy is immense. The most unfortunate thing is that they are at the highest risk when it comes to economic disruptions. Karine Montasa is an SME expert, is also the country operations manager for Puma and Adidas. He's joining us here so that he can give us a sneak preview of where we are and where we are going. Karim, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, very well. First of all, and help us understand, how is the environment now looking for SMEs?
Of course, Kenya is so potential for any international company now, because all international companies now, they search about pure market and potential market, especially in Africa, because Africa still needs more and more for international companies in all fields. For our field in retail fashion, we decided to came here on 2020 to open in Kenya in tough time, in middle of COVID. But we believe in the market in Kenya. So we opened Adidas and Puma store here, and after COVID and after elections, we started to follow our expansion plan. So we have 2 stores now in Kenya, and after 1 month we'll have 4, and the end of this year we'll have 6 stores. Of course, we have some challenges here in Kenya. Internal and external. We have worldwide challenges, like all the business we have, and now internal for Kenya. First of all, we have is not international companies here, so we don't have well-trained human resource. So this is the issue, because if you want to hire a team for your brands, you have to train them minimum 6 months to know what is the international standard concept. So this is the international. If we have more international brands and have more international hotels and the companies, will be better for all of us. Because now, if you believe in private sector, and you know, because the government can't do everything. Not 100%. We have like 50% in government, 50% in private sector. So private sector can create new jobs, create new business here, and of course when they come, they pay tax, they pay salary for the staff, pay for the tax for the shipment and the product. Of course, they make training for the staff, so it will be 50 for private sector, 50 for government. Like, for example, like Egypt and Dubai, you know, it doesn't have do anything alone. Not government alone, not private sector, like 50-50. But like this, you know, like the market grow as much as possible, you know. I'm just disturbed by something that you're saying here, that we don't have very well trained job seekers in this country, and the fact that the reason why it is worrying is because more than 1 million people join every year. They join the job market in Kenya. Then when you look at the employment levels in this country, we are talking about almost 9% of the employable force. And so why do we have such a serious skill mismatch? You know, Kenyan is so potential for the human resources, is well educated. This is important for international, is well educated. But when you apply this on the ground, this is the training and the international experience. I can't blame the Kenyan, I can't blame the human resource, but because it doesn't have any training. So I have to train you first, and after I can judge. So because of this, it's not international brands and international companies as much as we have. This is the issue, or this is the reason. But imagine if we government and the country believe so much in private business, and they attract much more investors for international and the business. I think after 5 years you have well-trained generation of Kenyan. So imagine that if you have only businesses coming, at least trained 50 person, after 5 years you have new generation well-trained. So this is the reason now.
So how much are you as a company investing in retraining? Because this is another capital expenditure that you have to incur as a company.
Sure. We are manage here two German brands, Adidas and Puma. And German community and German people is so picky for each single details about that. And especially in sportswear, you can't sell any single pair of shoes without knowledge. This is number one. Number two, the Kenyan customer is so well educated and so updated. So someone is coming to you, ask you about running shoes. So running shoes, he wants to a specific advantage and benefits for these shoes. So I have to have a knowledge about this product to be able to sell it. So we invest so much about the training, about the international standard, how the customer service, how the brand knowledge and product, all the details about the product and features and advantage as benefits of this product to tell the customer about it and give him the knowledge. So this is like priority for us, especially in sportswear, especially with Adidas and Puma.
You see, you're talking about you came into the Kenyan market when the world economy was battling with a major pandemic in the name of the coronavirus. And that was a sign of confidence in the Kenyan market. You came when almost everyone was had stopped their investment, their expansion, and they were reviewing their investment and their business models. Number one, I want to hear from you. How much have you invested in the Kenyan market, and how much more do you plan to invest in the short term?
We are Egyptian company. We have already almost 15 brand in Egypt with 120 stores all over the Egypt. We have operation in Sudan, we have operation in Uganda, and 2020 we came in Kenya. We came in Kenya in the middle of COVID, as I told you, and it was a brave decision from our chairman, Mr. Adel Sharawi, chairman of RA Sport. So because we believe in Kenya and believe Kenya, it must be a hub of East Africa. So because already we have operation in Uganda on 2016. We came Kenya late for some reason, but we decided to come. So the investment is one store to open one store here. It's like almost between $400,000 for $500,000 per store, because about
per store.
Yes, because you have a capex for fixture and the product and all the installment and the store and everything, and even the fit out of the store, everything. So we already have 2 stores now at Westgate Shopping Mall. Will open soon in June at the Hub Karen Mall. It's 2 stores also, Adidas and Puma, bigger than space for bigger than Westgate. And in September, October, we'll open 2 stores again in City Mall, Niali City in Mombasa. In Mombasa. Yes.
So you're talking about, spending about 40 million Kenya shillings, or thereabout. And this, of course, is not small investment.
Sure.
What would you say are the biggest challenges when it's come to operating in the Kenyan market?
When you come in first, it's different culture, different customer behavior, even language like this. But the most challenges for when you bring shipment from outside, from the KRA processes and the system and like this. It's better now than before, but still we need to make the process faster and faster and faster, because when you receive the shipment, you need to receive it in the store as soon as possible to start your process to display it, and the storage and pricing and the steaming. We have process for the shipping, and after, when the customer come and sell it and the customer buy it, so we make the profit, and you can be able to pay your store rent, you can salary, and the tax, everything. So this is a big challenge, to be from KRA to be more facilitated for us, and not only for our company, for all the investors and all the international brand, to make facilitated more and more and more and more. They try, but sometimes it's like system struggle you, sometimes is process struggle you. So this is a big challenge for us.
So where is the challenge? Is it in the way, the custom or the taxes
just the
are
process,
structured in this country? Is it that the process is complicated, or is made to be complicated by the people involved, or where precisely?
It should be faster and facilitate from the people. Even sometimes if you have maybe your document is coming from the brand because it's coming from outside, not like you want. So sometimes you have that. So just to make it the facilitate for that, and just to make it understand, we have to clear the shipment as soon as possible. So just as a process, and I think they change the system now. So I think in the future it will be better and better and better. But I think also because, like I told you, from the government and the company, if you come from top, the process and this is the direction of the country, attract all the investors, attract all the international companies and the brand to come. So I think all employee and all the government employee will follow that. So I have like good wishes and good positive vibes from the new president. So he can handle this, and he can make this facilitate more and attract more business now. And he start, but he's coming like 6 months now, and still, so he have time to improve this sector from the company.
Mm-hmm. And so if you are in a position of authority or a position of influence, what would you change about the whole shipping process, the filing of taxation, and the logistics that are involved?
I just make it we have the system, but maybe the system is not effort, or not the capacity is as much well to all these businesses coming, because now I have a lot of international brands coming to Kenya this year. So we invest in system. We invest in the human resources to train them well, to make faster. At least we give him how to important and how critical to clear the shipment and clear the product as much as they can. So like this, we can help the investors to clear the shipment, and even we make like online process, and even for the customer or even the company can follow the shipment, where they clear it, where is the stop, where is the issue, where is the to solve it. So I think we have to invest more in system and the training the people more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are from Egypt,
yes,
and Cairo to be specific. Of course, Egypt is a bigger economy. It's an economy that has been there longer than Kenya. What are some of the lessons do you think Kenyan authorities could learn from how investors are handled in Egypt?
Yeah, of course, the first one, the infrastructures. Infrastructure should be now is better in Kenya, because even the road is better, is expressway. This is make so much facilitated between the downtown and the airport and like this. So we have to to care more about the infrastructure. And I think so we have to make more meeting and more conference between the government and the investors to listen to each other. To maybe we have suggestions, maybe you have misunderstand about something. So when you make conference for this, maybe every 6 months, even once a year, so we can make more understand each other and the country. Even to attract more investors, you have to be marketing, to have market Kenya about more investors and more international company to come here. And even also now we have issue about, especially about the international brands here, is no location. So I think the country, our government can invest now for the new malls and the new shopping malls in different area. So they create new spaces for the international brands, and also this is attract more stores to come and rent and open the new brands and create job for Kenyan.
Very well. Well, if you're just joining us, we're discussing the small, medium enterprises and, of course, the climate, the economic and business climate here in Kenya. Karim Montas is helping us navigate this topic. We just now want to go to the coast, to Kwale County, where over 300 fund managers are converging there to discuss the administration of funds, as well as how to mobilize more people into the saving space. Our reporter, Junie Karisa, is there. She's now joining us. She's about to give us an update. Junie, if you can hear me, what's the latest?
Good morning, O'Brien. We are in Kwale County today, and we are joined by the Retirement Benefits Authority, who have come here for a two-day conference. It's a conference that has been organized by King's Landing, and today they are all about investing with an impact, environmental, social, and governance investing. This is a conference that has brought together over 300 fund managers, administrators, insurance players, among other sectors in this industry. Today I'm joined by the Chief Manager Market Conduct, Ann Mugo, who is also the Director of Pension at the National Treasury. Also she's the Chief Manager Market Conduct, Ann Mugo, to just give us a brief of her presentation inside. She has talked about how RBA is eyeing the Hustler Fund savings to invest in the asset of the RBA, so that they can be able to grow their assets by 2024 by 30%. And she will tell us more about that and other areas that they are targeting, and also for the trustees who are here and fund managers, what are some of the areas of investment they can choose from so that they can grow their assets. Welcome so much, madam, and just give us a brief overview of how your sector is doing so far, and what are the areas of concerns maybe you are trying to address, particularly when it comes to Kenyans who are a bit hesitant in investing in their future.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, let me start by correcting that we have a title called Director, Market Conduct and Industry Development. So we are currently very much focused on developing the industry. And when we talk about developing the industry, we are saying, should we just have a sector that is covering the formal sector? Should we be talking of retirement benefits for Kenyans when only 25% of Kenyans are covered? We are also seeking to grow the assets in the industry. We are currently at a level of 1.58 trillion, having grown from 40 billion 20 years ago. So it's quite some tremendous growth, but it has slowed down because of the economic effect that is affecting many other sectors in the last 2 or so years, and also the COVID effect in the period 2020-2021. We are seeking to grow that to about 2.4 trillion. So we are exploring who are these other Kenyans who are not covered. And we are talking mostly about the informal sector. In Kenya, the informal sector is about 80 to 85%, depending on the statistics, of the employees, workers in Kenya, and most of them don't have any pension schemes. So when the government came up with the Hustler Fund initiative, and they require Kenyans who borrow through that fund to save 5% of what they borrow for savings. That's one of the areas we are looking at for growth and for reaching Kenyans who are not covered. We also have sector players who are introducing products that target this market, where they can save very little as 20 shillings, 50 shillings a month, and we can also be flexible, allow them to save when they have the money, and also allow them to partially withdraw what is in they have saved. Those are the kind of things that the informal sector would be looking at. They don't want to put in their money and wait for 20 years like the formal sector workers. So we are exploring those products. We are also telling our sector players, the existing ones and the incoming, to explore other areas of investment. A lot of them have put their money in government securities, government paper. Nothing wrong with that, but we are saying you need to diversify and move into other asset classes, explore the private equity, explore the Nairobi Stock Exchange equities, explore the government the infrastructure bonds, explore the ESG. Is very new. I don't think I'm aware of any scheme that is really addressing ESG, so we want to come up with a guideline on that. So we are telling them, diversify your investment so that your schemes can have better returns and therefore have better funds available for Kenyans as they retire.
As we wind up, one worrying factor you have presented inside is the fact that the public sector is yet to remit their monies, and the penalties are not working, but you've worked together with the Treasury to enact a policy that maybe will save this situation. Paint us a brief picture of what the situation is looking like, and if this policy is adopted, what exactly it is going to solve in the public sector.
Yeah, thank you very much. Employers are required to remit contributions within 15 days after the end of the month, and we have a couple of public sector employers who are struggling. The reason is that maybe their funding levels have come down. If you're talking like universities, we are all aware what has happened. Universities, some of the courses they were offering are no longer able to offer, and their revenue has come down. So they are not prioritizing retirement benefits. So the policy we are seeking to get into with the government is whether we can have a way that these public sector employers are required to first fund their pension obligations and any other obligations like NHIF and NSSF and so on before they use the funds for their operations. We are hoping we shall be successful. We are engaging at policy level. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will give you more details of this event in a subsequent bulletins, but for now, I hand it back to you, O'Brien Kimani, in studio from Kwale County. I'm Juni Karisa.
Well, that's our Coast correspondent, Juni Karisa, there talking about how to deepen Kenya's investment as well as saving culture. We're back in studio. Our conversation is around how to empower SMEs to become drivers of economic growth, as well as how to improve the business environment in Kenya for companies to grow. Karim Montas is the country operations manager for Puma as well as Adidas. He's joining us in this conversation. You're talking about what we need to do, to make Kenya a great investment destination. I mean, it is already is, but of course there are some challenges, and you're highlighting some of these challenges as the improvement in infrastructure. And the fact of the matter is, when you look at the level of investment in infrastructure in the last 10 years, one would say that definitely Kenya has made significant strides. But still, there is more that needs to be done. When you compare it with our peers, and our peers would be like Egypt, South Africa, Morocco, Algeria, such economies. And so apart from, infrastructure, and you have just talked about roads. Apart from roads, what else do you think Kenya needs to invest in to continue attracting more international investors?
Of course, Kenya is a interact and potential market, and it should be hub of East Africa. For investment on the roads, the railway station, the airport, because in Kenya you have only now Jomo Kenyatta and Wilson, so it's more like this. Like you said, like expressways, the bridge, it's make it so much facilitate now because we can to go for the airport in maximum 10 minutes from end of Nairobi. So like this is the tools they can make it for you, facilitate to transfer your product from point to point. This is number one. Number two, the market. You have to access to market. So now we have only the malls in Nairobi. So it doesn't have any location. When you want to bring a new business, so a new brand in Kenya, is no location to open there. So we have to create. This is more malls now and shopping center even to bring this. Even now, because we have in Egypt this the same issue when the shopping mall doesn't have any space or just full, we start to create like destination in the street. I see now some trial from some investor in Kenya to make destination in the street, like square or station for food and beverage, fashion destination. So we have to create more and more and more for this for all area in Nairobi. Even now is a strength for the internet here is good. So yes, we have to just make it some stability in some area, but in general we can solve. And my wondering solution here is M-Pesa. M-Pesa is amazing solution. M-Pesa is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is, I'm wondering when I arrived Kenya and start to use it. This is, it should be applied in worldwide. I wish we can have this in Egypt. We have online payment for the application, and but something like M-Pesa is amazing. So this is, it's help you to facilitate your business so fast, so easy, safe. It helps so much for us in retail business, because you can pay about your purchasing from anywhere and immediately on the spot. So M-Pesa, this is amazing. You have to apply in all country, even from East Africa and all Africa, yes. Mm-hmm.
Let's also talk about, apart from the innovation in terms of payment solutions, let us talk about security. And this is one issue that, every investor is really concerned about, the security of a country. As a foreign investor, do you feel secure in Kenya?
Sure, 100%. Kenya for society, this is amazing country. I can live. I'm here since 2020. My family with me here is feel safe, feel comfortable. We can go anywhere, anytime. Doesn't have any instruction to don't go here, don't go there, like this. You have to care like any country in worldwide. So you have to take care. You don't go this area in the night. You can go this not in Kenya alone, but this is all worldwide. But Kenya, totally safe. This from personal life. For investor, yes, you come here in Kenya, establish your country, your money in the bank. You can transfer in and out easily. Depends the regulation for the central bank. You can transfer in and out. I pay my shipment because I bring my shipment from Dubai, from Jabal Ali, so I can transfer to them the money. They send it to me, the shipment, so easily. No, doesn't have any issue about this. So because of that, we now from me I have like positive word of mouth for all Egyptian and all my friends in outside Kenya to come and invest in Kenya. It's a space potential market to come and invest, because it's so easy to establish company and start your business. Yes. So it's Kenya is a place, such a place you can live it easily and enjoy it.
You come from an economy that is almost 4 times bigger than ours. You're from Cairo, with a population of more than 25 million people.
In Cairo?
In Cairo alone.
Yes. Egypt now more than 100 million.
Precisely.
Yes.
And in Nairobi, the population is about plus or minus 5 million people. And so, the comparative analysis here, will be amazing. But let's talk about Nairobi first of all. When you look at the investment climate in Nairobi, would you say it is conducive for international investors?
Sure, because it's pure, and still Kenyan is so aware about the business worldwide, and they searching about even to develop the lifestyle here. So, and even when I arrived in Kenya, I'm wondering, a lot of Kenyans already go outside Kenya more than 2 times per year, for Dubai, for UK, for Canada, for US, even for North Africa. This is for the business or for the private trips. So it's still, we have more and more to bring it to Kenya, not only in retail fashion, in all fields here, because I see now all the investors, not from Egypt only, for all the countries is coming to invest here, but maybe from Egypt is more because the COMESA agreement, they make more us easy to export and import some products, like in Egypt we take from Kenya all the coffee, tea, avocado is amazing and pure, natural, organic product from Kenya. And even from Egypt, I saw here some product from steel, wood, gypsum board, textile, and some even fruits and vegetables from Egypt. Even in you will be shocked, because is TV series now in Egypt is most famous TV series, and the actors is already make it in Kenya, in Nanyuki. They already display now during the Ramadan in Egypt, and the trend, it's trend #1 now in Egypt. It was in Nanyuki. So this is, I think, this is in Kenya we need to more marketing and announce about Kenya, about the places in Kenya. Even Mombasa. Mombasa is amazing, such a place. I saw it with the ocean in Nyali, Diani, Watamu, Lamu, like this. But you're wondering, you don't have any international hotels there. So if you have, you will improve the hospitality experience there. And even you announce about this for honeymooners, for medical meditation, for tourists, for such this trips for all forest and tourists. And even community here in Kenya is so international. So it's so such place. So we have here Kenyan, Indian, Somalia, even the international for Europe, because the UN community here is so big in Kenya. Even the Kenyan is so much welcome to host all these international and different international, and they adapt so fast with them. To adapt with the community fast. This is my experience here, 3 years in Kenya, and all my friends, even if they left and they have post here or their business here, and your contract is left and ended, and he went outside Kenya for his country or another country, really first his vacation, he's coming to Kenya because he missed. Now even for the banking sector, we have already one of the biggest Egyptian bank is called Commercial International Bank, CIB. They already come to Kenya and make acquisition for a small bank here in Kenya and take it. So even now for investors, they already feel safe, because even they have not only Kenyan bank or international bank, even if you are Egyptian investors to come here, you have Egyptian bank to come. This is proof in Kenya is open for all investors to come and invest, and even the banking sector. Yes, it's helped investors so much. Yeah.
And when you look at regulations around the small medium enterprises in this country, we have the SMEs Act in this country. We have the SMEs Authority, whose responsibility is to ensure, to create a conducive environment for SMEs to thrive. When you compare, the regulations around SMEs in Egypt and here in Kenya, what conclusions do you make?
I think because also like you said, now we have population now is so different. Maybe Egypt is double Kenya for population. For the percentage for SMEs is different now. So now in Egypt, no, we encourage the SMEs so much in different fields, but even also now about the local production. So this is so important for Kenya to make local production. Sometimes I have my friends here have local production and have local factory, but still we have to export and import the material and the raw material and the imports for raw material. So about the dollar inflation, about the dollar situation now, it's a challenge for them. But if you have local production and encourage the local production here in Kenya, I think it will be more SMEs will come and start up will growing so much, because when you start up business, you need to be local production for this. So in Egypt, we have a lot of cities now, not only in Cairo, outside Cairo, to make it the local production, and even also the cost of labor also is also cost. So maybe in Nairobi is expensive, but outside Nairobi, it's cheaper than Nairobi. This also element you can take it. But if the tax and the VAT, it's almost the same. VAT here is 16, in Egypt 14, so it's the same tax. Also is almost plus or minus, not big percentage, but still, if you push for local production, you will go far about SMEs.
And I also like the fact that you're talking about production of locally made products here in Kenya, and this is coming at a time when the debate is raging on how to increase the production of more products for the international markets. When you look at Kenya, and I like the fact that you were talking about, we are a big producer of agricultural products as well as horticulture. Which area do you believe remains untapped for SMEs, where they can tap and, of course, increase their export to the international market?
I think we have to make cooperate all together. So Kenyan folks, with the government, with the investors, we can make cooperate, and also so we can make more and close cooperation to make the COMESA is more active more than that, because it will be easier for all investors, international and local. So international, we have a lot of local brands and local production in Egypt. They want to come here, but maybe doesn't have any idea about Kenyan market, how to come. You have to announce more than and make conference to attract all these investors to come here, and even to make it announce about what is the benefits for COMESA for the local investor here in Kenya, to bring raw material from there and use the COMESA, and even with economic worldwide dollar inflation like this, it will be more useful for them, because at least you will not have to pay duty for if you use a COMESA. It will be duty free. So I think we have to exchange government conference, government meetings to make more effective for that, especially the COMESA one I see here. And I think it's every 3 months, 6 months we have expo here in Kenya. in different, for one time for construction, one time for education, for some time for another field. So I see a lot of Egyptian companies come in Kenya to participate in this expo, to offer our product, to offer the items we have in production, and they success really, and they have interesting here to make a deals. So we have to make more and more on this.
Before I let you go, Karim, tell me, I mean, you've been in this country now as Adidas and Puma for less than 4 years. You came here in 2020.
2020, yeah.
During the COVID-19 pandemic. Now you're talking about opening about 6 stores by the close of this year.
End of this year, yeah.
End of this year. What is driving this growth? The company is an Egyptian company, is here, is like I told you, it's called RA Sport. RA Sport is a global company, 15 brand in Egypt, more than 120 stores all over Egypt, Sudan operation, Uganda operation, here Kenya now operation. I present the company here. I have all my team is Kenyan in the store, and even the old department like finance, HR, logistic, all the department is a Kenyan. Really, we make success here. Story during the COVID, we opened first store Adidas November 2020. Our feedback and impression about the opening, it was over expectation. The Kenyan market welcomed us so much, even after we opened Puma. So because of this, from day one, we opened first store. We are right to come here. Our chairman, Mr. Adel Sharawi, it was brave to open in this. And we adapt in the market so fast. I'm Kenyan now, and I spent all the COVID here, the curfew after presidential elections. So we invest here, and even if we expansion more outside Kenya, like Rwanda and Tanzania, and we go, but we operate the business from Kenya, because Kenya, for the location, for the business, it's 1 hour by flight for everywhere now. And here the infrastructure for business is more developed in the country around Kenya now, so we operate the Kenya from here. Very good.
So
and you believe that
yes.
the future prospects are bright?
Yes, of course you have. And I even proud to be here and cooperate with my team here in Kenya.
Very good. Karim Montasa, thank you very much for joining us on Bizcheck, and of course for spending your time with us here.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana. Thank you. Karim Montasa is the country operations manager for Puma and Adidas, joining us here to explain to us how we can drive the growth of SMEs in the country for economic development. You have been watching Bizcheck. We've been live since about 10 past 10. Now it's coming to 12 o'clock. And you know what? Tamrini is up next with Gladys Mongayeng. Thereafter, at 1 o'clock, we shall be having our lunchtime bulletin. Thank you for joining us. For more information, you can always log on to our website, www.kbc.co.ke. And of course, you can follow me on my Twitter page, which is @O'Brien Kimani and @KBC Channel 1. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon.